What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Friday night. Went over the live stream with you guys a little earlier. Just finally got to hang out, watch the end of the draft. Had ourselves a nice one. I'm pretty pumped up here. So we're going to go through, break down day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3. Look at the Eagles draft picks and trades, updated picks, and of course the updated depth chart. So let's take a look at all this stuff. Appreciate you all taking the time, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. If you have any thoughts, anything you'd like to leave below, any questions, please feel free to do so. But let's jump right into this bad boy. Eagles first pick of the night, and we talked about this. A lot of talk about Emmanuel, McNeil, Warren, and that's what I was hoping for too. But I told you, if it's not him, if we're going offense, give me Eli Stowers, the tight end. That was one of my top fits for the Eagles. And yes, he needs a little development in the blocking game, but the best receiver as a tight end in this class and in the NCAA last year. So we got ourselves the best wide receiver and tight end, award-winning. And these guys, look, 6'4", 239, they're going to come in and be able to contribute. And as the tight end to Goddard, he gets to learn from Goddard. I'm all about it, man. And I think fantastic pick, a guy that was a former quarterback, and we talked about it. I'm a big fan. And we'll get into this in a second here. We'll break them down. But I love that. And then they backed it right up with Greenard and a 7th-round pick. And look, I know a 3rd-round pick people were upset about. We got rid of our 4ths. And a 3rd round next year. But, dude, you get Greenard. So you get your edge. You get a tight end, which we needed. We're going to probably need a receiver. So we got one of them. And then they finish up by getting a tackle, which we also talked about needing. So, yes, we still want a safety, but we got an edge. And there are still guys available, man. If you still want to get another edge, Danny Dennis Sutton's out there. You've got safeties out there that I think – like Kilgore, who could still get it done. So I would be okay with that. Wheatley, well, regardless, I think a good pick there. So a good day overall, and it got just everything just came at once right at the end there. So I loved it. I was a real big fan. And as I said, Eli Stowers here is somebody that comes in 4.5, 140 for a tight end, PFF grade, take it with a grain of salt, but this dude, I was a big fan. And as I told you, he can play like that big slot wide receiver. And, he played at Texas A&M, New Mexico State, Vandy, 6'4", 239. And as I told you, I would not take, if Sadiq's fallen, sure, maybe, but this dude's got a 45.5-inch vertical. As I talked about, you could probably get him in the 2nd round. And, this is a graphic from then. And, we talk about his hands and just the things he's able to do. For me, I think Hurts is going to love him. He's going to be somebody across the middle anywhere. And I think, again, he's like a receiver. So having him and having Goddard, you can run a lot more 12 personnel. So I think he dropped some balls this year. But look, dude, I think he's somebody that, for me, if he bulks up some and continues to get better, only played tight end for a couple of years here. I think a guy, as a former quarterback, high football IQ, I'm all about it, man. And then, again, the tackle who, didn't give up any sacks, but 9 pressures there. He 6'9", 346 pounds. Yeah, only 21 years old. And this dude, obviously, you want to hope you can get the best from him. Diamond in the rough, maybe, can be Lane Johnson's replacement one day. We'll see. But, bring some competition for Fred Johnson as the swing tackle, maybe a guard. Sometimes you see these giants in there, although weird. But regardless, this is one of our top fits. So we got 3 for 3 so far of the top fits, and I'm pumped up about them. So awesome. Now, another guy that was a top fit for years now, and I found it funny because I searched in my graphics, and this popped up from, 2023 here. Wow. Out of Florida, round 3 in 2020. That's crazy. But yeah, that's not the graphic I'm going to show you. I just thought it was funny. That's how long we've been talking about trading for this dude. So 3 years later, we've got ourselves Jonathan Greenard. And here it is, 28 now. And this will be his 7th year in the league. played for the Texans predominantly, and then he was just with the Vikings there, was a Pro Bowler in 2024. But last year, had himself 3 sacks in 12 games, 10 starts, 24 pressures, 12 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss with 38 tackles, 7 of them missed, a forced fumble, and 3 passes deflected. So he's still getting some. Now, to me, I think it's a great addition. You needed an edge, and we talked about him being a possibility. So overall, I thought 2 great picks and a great trade. So Howie, you madman, continue doing your thing. But let's take a look at the updated picks and the depth chart and start it off. Now you see we have 6 picks total, 3 left, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then we have 6 next year. 1st, 2nd, no 3rd, no 6th. So 4th, 5th, 2 7ths. Now, in this draft tomorrow, we have the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and that is pick 178, 197, 244, a comp from Atlanta and from Minnesota. I expect Howie to continue doing things, probably not even take all 3. He might, trade out, do whatever, move up for somebody. Maybe he gets more. I don't know. But Howie's a madman, always keeps you on your toes. But I'll be looking forward to the draft. I'll still be watching the 4th round because you never know. So stay tuned for that live stream tomorrow. But looking at the updated depth chart now with all these guys in, I think, regardless of whatever happens to AJ, you got a lot of weapons at receiver. I feel comfortable at QB and running back. I'm sure a lot of undrafted guys are going to be added all over the place. Tight end, holy hell. And don't forget, you can add Cameron Latou into this list too because of the fact that, he's up there at fullback with Carson Steele. Doesn't mean he can't play there. So you got 8 guys that are actually competing at tight end already. And then the line, you can see a bunch of guys, a bunch of tackles, a bunch of guards. But I'm sure the Eagles will continue. Markel Bell, a nice addition. We'll see if he plays over Hinton or Williams or whoever. But just plugging him in there. And Stowers, I expect to be, that tight end too, the receiving guy, smart to be that more, blocking. Or I'm sorry, why does it say Stone Smart Choice? My apologies. It is supposed to say Johnny Munt under Stowers. So I messed that up. Anyways, but he's the blocking tight end. And excited to see what we continue to add there. Now, didn't draft anybody on defense, but we did add Greenard. Now, I was almost tempted to leave Jalen Hunt as the starter, but I didn't want to hear the uproar. So he's 28, going to be 29, and I think that he will be part of the rotation. But I think Hunt and Smith should be the leaders of the pack. So we'll see how it plays out. But he was traded for, so the hope is that he's out here whooping ass. And I love Avocati too. So he was my top guy to get in the edge free agency pool. So to me, a lot of good additions. 6 guys competing right now. We'll probably draft an edge. We'll probably add one in free agency. So a lot of weapons. We added Tariq Woolen as a corner. Holy hell. And the rest, obviously a safety is still in play, but you could trade for one. So we'll see. But here in the special teams department, you're going to need to bring in a long snapper, maybe a kicker for competition with Jake Elliott. But Lemon brings some return experience. Love that. You've got some other guys that can return too. I thought I saved it with the new return stuff I did, but apparently not. So I'll have to update that and do that for you tomorrow. But that's what went down today with the picks and the trades. And, well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And I appreciate you hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, all the things you're doing to support the channel. But that's all I've got here for you tonight. Going to get rolling out. We'll have the live stream tomorrow. We'll talk about all those picks. We'll recap everything. We'll talk about my favorite picks. Then we'll do the whole off season so far. All that great stuff. I know you guys love in the off season, and I enjoy it too myself. But yeah, that's all I've got. So if you did enjoy this, thank you for hitting the like button, because all that stuff, building this during the draft, it means a lot and it helps a lot. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you tomorrow. So let me hear your thoughts on this. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!